The sound of a strike, a ball striking the head pin and sending the other pins flying, is the reason I have this button on my soundboard. Oh, such a lovely sound. It never fails to delight and surprise. Nvidia bowled a strike last night, and stocks of all kinds rocked, vibrated, skidded, and caressed in a symphony of exquisite sound today. The 10-pin average narrative showed the Nasdaq rising 0.3% and the Dow rising 306 points, or 0.53%. In the years, Nvidia has been battling Apple and Microsoft for the title of largest corporation in the world. At the moment, Nvidia and Apple are in a head-to-head match, with Nvidia spending $3.5 trillion and Apple spending $3.45 trillion. Yes, identifying Apple as the winner is correct. All of a sudden, Microsoft is far behind the rankings. Whoa, the drop-off is considerably larger. Without a doubt, Nvidia's victory last night is putting some separation between it and the competition. As recently as 2 years ago, when its market capitalization was barely $500 billion, very few people had even heard of the corporation. Thus, the numbers are astounding. Last quarter, Nvidia generated $35 billion in revenue and $20 billion in net income, or 75% gross margins. Those figures are absurdly high, incredible ramp-up. When Nvidia was trading at 50 times anticipated profits a year ago, many detractors said it was ridiculously overpriced. I was made fun of for supporting the ostensibly overpriced semiconductor stock. It turns out that Nvidia was only trading at 20 times anticipated earnings a year ago when we look at the actual statistics. These outcomes were that amazing. It was cheap in hindsight. When a business exceeds the projections, that is what occurs. Additionally, Nvidia has been outperforming the projections for 10 years, as I have shown time and time again. Extremely costly? No, that makes great sense. Nvidia's stock is that one. I've liked it for so long because of it. What do? It turns out that Nvidia is pursuing 2 different projects, artificial intelligence and faster computing. All of this is taking place because CEO Jensen Huang and his staff are, in a sense, the greatest bowlers of all time. My amazing companion, Carl Quintanilla, began this morning's squawk on the street by asking me what I thought of Nvidia's quarter. I was muted at the time, and the stock was down a few bucks. I wasn't one to exaggerate a stock I supported to the point of mockery. I was clinical. However, I took a moment to reflect and added, to be honest, I've never seen anything like what's happening at Nvidia. This is not my strong suit. Never, ever. Additionally, I stated that the stock is just not reflecting the seismic shift that is taking on here, even if it was down this morning despite 19 firms boosting their price goals. As you can see, Nvidia is upending our entire understanding of business. Superlatives are limited when discussing the demand for their technology. It's been referred to as insane. It's been referred to be enormous. Stumbling was the key phrase last night. Even Jensen, I believe, is having trouble coming up with analogies right now. He mentioned something entirely new, such as the iPhone, when discussing one application for the newest and greatest processor, Blackwell, the iPhone. That's what he compared it to. Although we consider the iPhone to be a once-in-a-lifetime invention, it may actually be smaller when you listen to the Nvidia call. Little, no matter how groundbreaking, that was ultimately just one gadget. Chips made by Nvidia? The world as we know it is being remade. The computer power that needs to be replaced by Nvidia is worth $1 trillion. The Nvidia Omniverse requires the construction of factories worth trillions of dollars. Legal work, forecasting, supply chain management, engineering, and, above all, coding, where you can simply talk to the machine and instruct it in plain English rather than a programming language, can save trillions of dollars. Elon Musk's goal to provide everyone with a human-like robot to handle the grunt work and drone-related tasks will generate trillions of dollars in humanoids. Indeed, it is Shakespearean. Perhaps it's Jensen's universe, that all the women and men are just players, I've been thinking. Alternatively, to use the more mundane bowling comparison, this quarter was so seismic that entire sectors flew in separate directions. First, the advantages. Power producers like Constellation Energy and Vistra rally because Jensen made it obvious that we don't currently have enough power to handle all the demand from these devices. It strengthens the argument for data center plays, which means Eaton and Vertiv, the data centers pick and shovels, can take off. Jensen mentions certain memory shortages, which could be caused by high bandwidth CPUs. Oh, that's Micron, which stands for NU. I've been hoping that would work, which optical goods are considered backbone plumbing. Marvell Technology, I see. Additionally, the value of the connector company rises after receiving a shout-out. All of these pin actions are traditional. After that, since you will be hearing this repeatedly, I would like you to put it in writing. Make sure you're prepared. The term agentic, AGENTIC, refers to a whole new computer paradigm in which your company has agents that are powered by Nvidia, with Salesforce being one of the major recipients. Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff has been discussing his agentic product, which can generate billions of agents. Agentic. What does it signify? Allow me to illustrate. I wanted to discuss the findings of a test I took on Monday with a doctor today. When I called, I received the same recorded fool who doesn't know me and 4 selections that went by so quickly that I had to have them repeated. After that, I hit 2 to talk to someone who might have some connection to the person I wanted to talk to, but they weren't. I then re-entered the line and hit the 3. I spoke with a human there, but it was the wrong woman who connected me to the correct person. She took down my number without getting my name, and I never received a call back. When I call in the agentic world, an agent answers, recognizes my number, and knows my identity. It then accesses my information and asks whether I would like to talk to the doctor I visited earlier in the week. After I replied in the affirmative, it would request a thorough message from me, which would then be forwarded to the physician. However, it would be agentic if it could respond to the query on its own, as it has all the data required to respond to commonly requested questions. NVIDIA-powered conversational, non-existent agents. You receive a human. I don't want the human, I say. The agent is what I desire. Salesforce, Accenture, and ServiceNow all take off. Companies that support the process, such as Cadence, NetApp, and Nutanix, also benefit. Oh, but allow me to share a small drawback because it's sort of funny. According to a significant update, Tesla loses $2.39, Amazon drops $4.50, Microsoft's stock drops $1.79, and Meta's price drops $2.43. Why? As these are the largest clients of Nvidia. The myth that spending on Nvidia processors couldn't continue because demand will eventually outstrip supply has been around for about a year. However, those are a bunch of falsehoods. Due to the enormous payout, demand is increasing. Jensen claims that they make 5 smackers for every dollar his consumers invest, because companies must be relevant in Jensen's world, or else they are forced to purchase Nvidia chips. So don't worry about the notion that Nvidia's stock is about to plummet. Me? The strikes that were rolled last night, in my opinion, were only the preliminary frames. A brat, a ham bone, a turkey, or even a 6-bagger may be what we're seeing. A 3, 4, 5, or even 6 strikes, of course. Several games, several frames. The final line is that, although I never imagined saying it, I, too, am at a loss for words. It's impossible to describe how good things are at Nvidia. It is beyond our comprehension. Thankfully, we are not required to. Jensen is smart and has the technology to do it for us. If you require any other changes, please let me know.